Hi everyone, my name is Marian, your technology friend. In this video, we're going to take a look at the new iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max, which by the way, I think got the bigger upgrades this year. We're going to take a look at its notable features, its official Philippine prices, and my estimated release date, so stay tuned until the end of the video. I also uploaded my iPhone 13 and 13 mini video detailing the same topics, so if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend watching that after this video. Without further ado, let's talk about iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max. The biggest and most notable upgrade of the Pro iPhones are the new cameras. Now, I don't want to make my video too technical, so I'm going to do my best to translate these specifications into real-world use cases. So the Pro iPhones have 3 cameras and each of them are new and improved this year. The ultra-wide camera now has a wider aperture. This means that the ultra-wide camera will result into less grainy photos since it can get more light. Personally, on my iPhone 12, I usually don't use the ultra-wide camera because its quality is super far from the regular wide camera. But this year, on the Pro phones, it looks like that's going to change, so I'm excited for that. It can also do macro photography now, meaning you can get super close to a subject and have a perfectly focused picture. As for the telephoto camera, it can finally do night mode now, and it is a longer 3x lens, meaning it can optically zoom in 3x more than the wide camera. This is different from when you just pinch the zoom to the limit, because what that does is it basically just crops the picture. Optical zoom has no crop whatsoever. Then for the wide camera, it has a wider aperture and larger sensor, which lets in 2.2x more light. What this means in the real world is that you will get even better photos now in the daylight and at nighttime, and your iPhone will use night mode less since it wouldn't need to as much. You also now get the sensor shift stabilization on the smaller Pro model, which was previously an exclusive feature of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. What the sensor shift does is that it makes you less prone to camera shake on video, and you are able to take better night mode photos because it makes you more resistant to shake. Other camera features that nerds like me, I'm sure, already understand are ProRes, Smart HDR4, and Cinematic Mode for video, which lets you change the in-focus subject after taking the video. This is capped at 1080p 30 frames per second though. Second biggest upgrade is the screen. Now, iPhones finally now have variable 120Hz refresh rate, or what Apple calls ProMotion. So currently, your iPhones are at 60Hz, meaning your screen is showing you kind of like 60 frames per second. But with 120Hz, it doubles what you see, and the end result is that it creates very smooth scrolling. Like, you really need to see it in person to see the difference, but it is a great novelty to have. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest 120Hz stan like a lot of people or nerds go crazy about this, but I have it on my iPad Pro for about 2 years and I basically don't notice it now. Other screen upgrades is that there's a smaller Face ID sensor or notch, so there's more screen on that area, and it is also a brighter screen, so you see it better under the sun. Third upgrade is battery life, and I think this is a really big upgrade if Apple's numbers are correct. Apple is saying the iPhone 13 Pro has 1.5 hours more battery than the 12 Pro, while the 13 Pro Max have 2.5 hours more than the 12 Pro Max. But looking deeper at the comparisons, it seems like the smaller iPhone 13 Pro now has better battery life than the last iPhone that has the best battery life, which was the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Then the 13 Pro Max even goes above and beyond the iPhone 13 Pro. So I'm really curious what the test that YouTubers will do because these numbers are substantial. This might be the first 2-day iPhone without charging. Other features that are different now are the new processor, the A15, and a 1TB option is available now, and the new Sierra Blue color, which replaces the Pacific Blue of last year. Personally, what I think of it, it's not really my style. I'm also realizing there's now a big gap in features between the regular and Pro line of iPhones. I think this is really the first time that we can truly call the Pro iPhones as Pro, since they have professional and enthusiast level features that I cannot imagine that non-techie people will need. You know, I've been talking to a couple of friends about it, and I just can't recommend the Pro even if it's a bigger jump, since there's no reason for them to go with the Pro. So if you're not a tech geek, just go with the iPhone 13 or 13 mini. And if you're a tech nerd like me that wants the best of the best, or you want to use your iPhone as a film or photography camera, go with the Pro. For the official Philippines prices, the iPhone 13 Pro is 1,000 peso more expensive than last year's 12 Pro because the dollar rate now is 50 pesos rather than 48 pesos. It now starts at 63,990 pesos for the 128 gig version. Then if you want to upgrade to the 256 gig version, you will be paying 70,990 pesos. To get 512 gigs, you will be paying 82,990 pesos. And finally, for the new 1TB option, crazy, you have 1TB on your phone, you will be paying 95,990 pesos. For the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it is also more expensive than the iPhone 12 Pro Max's price last year, but this time it is 2,000 pesos more expensive. The 128 gig version now is at 70,990 pesos. The 256 gigs is 76,990 pesos. The 512 gigs is at 88,990 pesos. And finally, the 1TB option is at 101,990 pesos. So Apple has officially now broke the 100,000 peso mark for iPhones. As for release dates in the Philippines, I think the iPhone 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max will be available to buy on October 29, 2021, just like the iPhone 13 and 13 mini. So on average, Apple is releasing the iPhones in the Philippines 38 days after the US launch, but if we use 38 days after the US launch, which is September 24, that date will be November 1, which is a Monday. Now, Apple never releases their iPhones on a Monday. It has been consistent that they are released every Friday. So we're gonna have to roll back 3 days, and I think it will be released on October 29. This is also coinciding with the iPhone 11 launch. At that time, Apple encountered no delays on the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro launch as they were released at the same time in the US. The Philippine release was also the same for the 11 and 11 Pro, and they were 35 days after the US launch. This makes me believe that the whole iPhone 13 lineup launch will be on October 29. If you agree with my estimations, leave a like in this video, but if you disagree, let me know your estimation in the comments below. If you want more Apple content and iPhone 13 content, hit that subscribe button as I will be uploading more in the next couple of weeks. I will also be updating my socials for any hidden features or developments discovered in the iPhone 13, so make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. While waiting for my next videos, click on this playlist right here to know more about Apple facts exclusive for the Philippines. Alright, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Marian, your technology friend, and I'll see you on my next video.